Okay, someone coming in from out of state, and they may have bought houses before, but not in Arizona. What is the story of inspections in Arizona, and how do they play into how the contract is fulfilled and the offer is set up?
Awesome. So in Arizona, we have boilerplate contracts, meaning that everything is written by a board. So in that contract, it automatically gives the buyer the right to have a 10-day due diligence period. That 10 days actually starts the day after an accepted contract.
Okay.
So you get the offer accepted, you negotiate the offer with the seller. We get the offer accepted. The next day we want to turn in our earnest deposit. However, the next day we also want to order an inspection if you choose to. It's not required by the bank. It's not required by anybody. I always urge my buyers to do so to make sure the house is sound, even if you're buying it as is and not going to request any repairs.
Okay.
In this current market, instead of 10 days, to stand out to the sellers, a lot of the times we are shortening that period to 3 or 5 days. And if you have a good agent that has a lot of good relationships with different inspection companies and you are choosing to do an inspection, they'll get out there within the first 48 hours. These inspection reports, if you do not go to the walkthrough after the inspection happens, the inspector's there 2, 3, 4 hours, depending if they have a couple inspectors working on it or whatever, they'll give the buyer an opportunity to a walkthrough. Now, if you don't go to that walkthrough, it can be quite scary to look at this inspection report. They use this inspection report as a negotiation tool. So it will pick apart the house. Even new build homes have a list of stuff, a laundry list of stuff,
Okay.
usually 20 to 100 things. So of course, if you're buying a home that's not brand new, there will be little nicks and cracks and things that are loose and maintenance issues that are probably not a deal breaker for you. So the inspection report can be quite scary, especially for a first-time home buyer or somebody relocating to a new area. So I always suggest, if you are out of state and you're unable to come during the inspection period, which I urge you to do so, you may not need to be here for the picking of the home, because we'll get you really good videos, we'll get you on FaceTime, all these different things, so you'll see the home really well. However, during that inspection period, you might show up and feel the house is smaller or bigger than you wanted, or there's something about it that you didn't see in video, so that will be your opportunity, as well as to do that walkthrough with the inspection company. They'll walk through and they'll tell you what's maintenance, what's important, and what's not important, what's a safety issue, what's something to keep an eye out, or what needs to be fixed now.
All right, so the buyer gets the inspection report. And now what happens strategically with this? You don't want to blow the deal because you want the house, but at the same time, there's always going to be something there that you didn't expect.
Right.
So how are you going to deal with this inspection report?
Right. So in this market, we are not asking for a ton of stuff. However, we need to represent you and protect you as the buyer.
Yeah.
So if there are things on the inspection report that are deal breakers, or even things that we think we might be able to get the seller to, to fix, we're going to ask for them. So after your due diligence period, let's say it is 10 days, on that 10th day by midnight, we need to turn in a buyer inspection notice, seller response, to the listing agent to present to the sellers. The sellers then have 5 days from the time that they receive this buyer inspection report.
Okay.
And they will either decide, I want to fix this, I'll fix some of these things, or buyer, you know what, if you don't like it, leave. So depending on how they respond, if in fact they agree to everything, boom, we're moving forward, they're repairing things, we'll make sure it's repaired within 3 days of closing. If they decide not to, or they change the terms in any way, they'll fix this, however not this, then the buyer has 5 days to decide, am I going to hire somebody to do that? Is it still a deal breaker? Or are we going to move on and just allow this to happen? You will be able to back out if it is a deal breaker and they don't accept your terms.
Okay.
The last thing that may happen is the seller may ask to give you a credit, or you may ask to get a credit. So I want X, Y, and Z repaired, and we'll take $1,000 credit towards my closing cost or off the purchase price.
Okay.
And then the seller may offer that too if we don't ask for it. So there are a couple different ways the inspection period can go. However, no matter what, it is an opportunity for the buyer to be protected during the process.
Okay, and that's what the realtor's there for.